Hey, how you doing, Darren? What do you have going on this evening? Missile Hunter, how's it going? What do you have going on this evening? Cool. Hey, James, how are you? You working on your layout, James, or just real? Lift out? Wow. Hopefully, it's for me. Oh, I don't envy you. Working on a helix. Well, it's a big milestone if your bench work's almost all done. So you're 21 inches tall right now. That's pretty short. Ready for the wiring, huh? I'm just doing some filing. I just cut these supports off the sprue. So now I'm filing off the excess plastic. Nisi, good to see you. Just hanging out, not doing anything. Tedious work, cleaning up parts. This is these are the legs, the supports for the oil loading platforms that I bought, which I have 16. So I'm doing them kind of assembly line method. I glued all the pipes together first. Now I'm going to glue the supports. Glue the pipes onto the supports. Just do it like that. I found if you're doing multiple of these oil loading platforms, it's almost better to do it this way. Yeah, it is. You don't get these little plastic nubs off the top. Things won't sit flat. That's where they were attached to the sprue. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I have to change fingers every once in a while because I burn the ends of my fingers with the file. I'm always dropping them too. So I did the supports or the feet part last night. Hopefully, checking that the cat wants out. James, you removed chunks, huh? That's not good. Sometimes you need your skin. My life's tracks. How are you doing? So it looked like all the cool kids were in Timonium today. If I was closer, that's where I probably would have been. That's right. They'll never know who committed the crime. Sometimes your skin gets mixed in with little chunks of glue. Ken Amos, how you doing? Whoop, I think the cat wants out. What? You want out? No, you don't want out. You just want. Yes, he does want out. Here you go. Yeah, I wish I could have been there. Well, in April. I will be there in April. It's a little ways to drive from Texas. It's just a little bit of a drive. That's going to be a pretty good length of track. I've told about 20 cars. Each, 20 cars each. Timonium is pretty big. I think the place where they hold it's about 2.5 acres. And there's just a lot of vendors there. Lots of vendors. the guys who run the show are always buying collections, and they're right in the front, kind of. They they always have boxes of blue bathroom blue box for $5 a piece, and a lot of them are just have never even been out of the box. Plano was good. It was really crowded, a lot more crowded than the last time I was there. Even I was shocked. It's actually a pretty big show itself. Really, I hope they do the same thing in April. Then I hope they have those extra vendors in April. I know the October one's usually a little bit bigger, but I hope the extra vendors come back in April. Wow, that's a pretty big show too. Then, yeah, I've never heard of the one in Syracuse, but I've rarely gotten up that far. If y'all see what I'm doing, maybe you don't even care what I'm doing. Okay, good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think Missile Hunter said he was putting a new video together too. Hey, McCarville Studios. Mike, how you doing? I don't know if you can see it, but here's the refinery piping. It goes way down there. I am building these oil platforms, these Walther's oil loading platforms, but I'm putting 16 of them together. So um, I have found that it's better to build these piecemeal, do all of one part on all the kits and then do the next part. And so that's how I'm doing it. I put together all the pipes that go under the platforms. I put those together first for all the kits. Now I'm doing the supports. And then when I get the supports together, then I'll put the piping on the supports. Then I'll build the walkways and put those on the supports. So yeah, it just seems to work out better that way when you're connecting a bunch of these kits. You don't trying to connect the pipes together when they're all together is just it's a nightmare because they don't fit exactly right. Being a Walther's kit, of course, and being a 20-year-old Walther's kit, I'm sure the molds have warped over time and that kind of stuff. They don't fit together exactly right, so it's better to kind of do it this way, where you do all of one part, then all the next, then try to fit them together. Thomas Moore, how are you doing? Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I know. Mom and son was there. I kind of saw that. Um, Rick Bailey did a short live stream, and I did see everybody there. I'm sure Ray was really enjoying it. Oh, good. Thank you. I'll look forward to it. Yeah, Steve's a good guy. I enjoyed being with Steve, and when I was up in Manassas this past April. Yeah, I don't think you can get them if they aren't rusty, unless you get them right out of the foundry. Even the new ones rust really quickly. Yeah, so I think there's two to each of these kits, so that means I've got 32 of them. And I just sighed and knocked them all over, the ones I just glued together. They're standing here. I got to stand them all back up. Yeah. Yep. So if you ever get this kit, these oil loading platforms, and you need to join them together, this is the best way to do them. Join all the tubes together that for the oil travels in, and then the supports, and then put the tubes on the supports. So like I say, they don't fit exactly right. So unfortunately. Everybody's being quiet tonight. Hope had a couple people leave. I see snuck out. Race fan, how are you doing? No, James, it isn't. I'm almost got all the siding done. I'm just putting the siding on the back wall, is all I have left as far as that. And then I'm actually going to get a video together after the siding is done and show the siding and then painting it and working on the roof. I didn't figure I'd do a video of me just gluing all those little pieces of siding on. Although Steve 87 might have loved to watch me glue siding on. because he loves watching glue dry. Yeah, Ken, that's a problem. There's no other, and there's no other big kit manufacturers out there, really. I mean, there's a few like Faller and stuff like that, but their Faller's kits tend to look more European. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Walthers. They've had the same kits for so many years. The molds are worn out and they won't fix them. They want to try to keep making money off the same old molds. They've got to do something different because if somebody does come along that has the capital to start up a business and make building kits, Walthers is going to suffer. Without making craftsman kits, at least. I just can't. I can't do a craftsman kit. I don't, especially if you're building a layout, medium-sized layout on your own. You don't have time to sit down and build 20 or 30 craftsman kits. There's just no way you can do it because they take hours. I mean, the Walthers kits take long enough. Yeah, Ken, that's probably a good idea. Now, I don't even really have time to sit down and do Walthers kits, so I know I couldn't do a craftsman kit. It would take me months to do one kit. They look great when they're done, but said I don't have the time. I don't know if I'm going to get this layout 90% complete before I die, as it is. I always say I'll stick the last tree in and then have a massive heart attack, and that'll be it. Yeah, see, you're a cabinet maker, and that's not me. I am not. I am just not a good woodworker. Never have been. And I'm not going to fool myself into thinking that I will be at some stage. Not this stage of my life. Some people work really well with wood. I am just not that person. Or Clint Eastwood would say, a man's got to know his limitations. Here's one I missed last night when I was filing. Ken, I always say practice makes permanent. So if you keep on practicing with the wrong techniques, you'll just get permanently bad. Yeah. I don't know, Nissy. You're pretty talented. So I probably could do one that would come out halfway decent, but it's just I just look in that box and see 1,000 little sticks, and I just cringe. Yeah, I do. I get intimidated. I admit that. I'll admit that. I remember even as a teenager when I'd go in the train store, I'd open up one of those Campbell kits and look at them, and I'd go, "Oh no!" But Walthers does have to do something. They need to do something. They seriously need to um, remake their molds. Um, their molds are at least most of them are 20 to 30 years old. They've made their money off of them. They've got to redo their molds, even if they do the same buildings. But you're using, with the CAD programs now to design the molds, you can be so much more precise. And the machinery, you can be precise down to, a 10,000th of an inch. And molds wear out over time. It doesn't matter how good the mold was in the beginning; they wear out, and they have got to redo them. I don't know why they refuse to. Probably it's probably a money deal. And even when they introduce a new kit, it's just repurposed parts from other kits. It's they never really do a new kit. Yeah, there you go. Slap some vines. There's a crack. Put a downspout on it. If the imperfections make them look more realistic, then I'm going to have the most realistic looking buildings in the world. Bondo. Yep. I don't know why I keep breathing over here. I know I'm going to knock these down when I do, but I keep doing it. I've kind of enjoyed though, building this scratch building because I kind of had an idea in my mind of what I wanted to look like, and it's turning out close to it. Like that. I like doing it that way, and it'll make it unique. When you scratch build, just like when you do, Ken. You'll never see anybody else have that exact same building on their layout because you scratch built it. Plus, you can build it to size. That's another thing. Most of the Walthers kits are 3/4 size of what they should be, and most model railroad kits are the same way. It doesn't matter the brand though. Mr. John, how's it going? Mystic John, I want you to go get a pencil and a piece of paper. I'm going to have you write something down. Hold on. Let's see. So I was talking about Norfolk and Western, where they interchanged with Southern, because we were talking about that on, I think, on Jerry's live stream yesterday. So in Virginia, Norfolk and Western interchanged with Southern at Alta Vista, Virginia, Bristol, Burkeville, Lynchburg, Norfolk, Norton, Riverton, and South Boston. So those are the places where they interchanged. So there was a lot of interchange between Norfolk, Western, and Southern. So I know you had Southern stuff, and you were thinking about doing Norfolk and Western. So, but there were also interchanges between them in Ohio and North Carolina, Illinois, and Missouri. So a lot of interchanges between Northwestern or Norfolk and Western and Southern. So good opportunities to model a bunch of different places, or gives you a good choice of places to model. Hey, Corey. So did you get all those, John? Yeah, you can do some research. I bet you could find some good areas to model. We were talking about that yesterday. I think it was Jerry's live stream. And things you don't see modeled much. I was thinking of Boston and Maine. I don't see anybody model Boston and Maine or Providence and Worcester, Jerry mentioned. I mean, maybe there is somebody out there that does that, but I have never seen it. I mean, there might be people that have those locomotives on their layout, but model an area that those railroads actually served. It's a railway equipment register. This one is October of '76. They put them out twice a year. I think twice a year, and you can find them on eBay. So it gives every railroad, every car number, uh, and the type of car, and every interchange point with every railroad. So it's very handy to have. Yeah, so it's good if you want to know a specific car, if it was around in the era you model, then one of these books is great to have. Now, I am missing a support. That's not good. I have the little stand, but I don't have the support. So why not? What did I do with it? Where did it go? Hmm. Am I going to have to buy a whole nother kit because I'm missing one piece? I hope not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 6, 7, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 6, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Hmm. There must be extra. There is extra, so that's good. I'm good. I don't need it. So, oh well, that's good to know. Yeah, I was just thinking about railroads that you don't see modeled very often because everybody does Santa Fe, everybody does Denver and Rio Grande, everybody does UP, everybody does the modern railroads, BNSF, Norfolk Southern, CSX. People do that kind of stuff, but you don't see a lot of the pre-merger stuff being modeled. Mike Hammer, Hamer, Mike Hamer. Okay. I guess I was thinking about it because too there's a railroad that operates in Salem, Massachusetts, and it's just finishing up its operations because it only served one industry, and they closed that industry down. So, which is a shame. But anyway, going back to the official railway equipment register, I you can get these for whatever era you model, and that's I thought that would be pretty interesting if anybody ever wants one. Yeah, there's a handful of Southern guys. I think we're talking about Anthony too. I don't know if he really models Southern, but he's got a lot of Southern locomotives. So I think it's probably the area where he's from originally. That's what kind of what he grew up with. So now I have all my little supports glued together on here. So this is what they look like. This is just one kit that I did put piping together. but the that whole length of piping, which is about 7 feet, I'm gonna supports on it. Uh, put the bottom one on, and then these are the valves that go up to the oil, where they dispense the petroleum product into the tank car. And then I'll put the top ones, same thing. Yeah, Daryl. Hey, how's it going? No, that doesn't count, Daryl. Sorry. But what I was talking about, if you don't put all the piping for the whole length together, trying to get them to match up when you have them on the support first is just it's a nightmare. That's why I put the whole length of pipe together for all, except for a couple. So for 14 of my uh, oil loading platforms, and now I'm going to put the supports on these back here. Like I said here, it'll make it a lot easier. This is uh, this is what I was going to have Joe Rader do when I thought I needed six, and I found out I needed 16 of them. Joe is Joe's glad I'm not sending them to him. I bet. Although I hadn't seen him do a jack kick in a few weeks, he might want to do a kit. You never know. My biggest thing is how do you do a Walther's kit and not make it look like a Walther's kit? Really, there's a lot of details that can be added to those Walther's kits, and that's the big thing. I think like for the paper mill, the buildings are there, but needs a lot more tanks. It needs a lot more piping, ladders, that kind of stuff. I think that's uh, I think that's one of the keys to making those Walther's kits look a little bit better is adding a bunch of details. That's a good idea, John. Joining two kits together that makes a difference too. Because like I was saying earlier, those Walther kits, they're not scale size really. They could be probably another. Most of them can probably be half again bigger than they are. So that's I realize why they don't do that is because a lot of modelers need the room, and you can only have a certain size kit. But yeah, it's the details. Yeah, kit bashing. That's right. Lot of kits I'd like to bash, believe me. But I think that's what I think it's really the details because Walther's leaves off a lot of details that they sell separately too. That's what annoys me is they'll sell you a kit that requires certain things, but then they won't sell that in the kit. They'll sell it separately, and that's kind of annoying. If you're going to sell a kit, sell all the parts to the kit. Don't make me buy another kit to finish this one. A good example is their grain elevator. Let's see if I can bring mine over here without destroying a lot of things. I can't because I forgot I got lights running, the wires running down through the bottom of the layout. But their grain elevator, a lot of doors that just go nowhere. Well, if you can buy the ladder kits from Walthers to finish it off, to ladders and platforms and stuff like that. But then why didn't you just put it in the kit? Charge me $5 more and put it in there. And I'd rather have all the pieces than having to buy something else. And to be honest, they might be a little short, but they could be taller, you know. And putting them together, putting the silo parts together, oh, man, what a nightmare. Making them fit without any seams showing. uh, all around, they could have done a better job on that kit, but it's 30 years old. It's warped, There's the silos aren't going to fit. Nothing's going to fit together right. Yeah. Well, James, take it easy. So good. Thanks for coming. And if you look at it, then they use the same silos in their in the cement thing. The smaller cement, Medusa cement or whatever, something like that. They use the exact same silos. It's what? You're making a separate kit. Why are you trying to foist the same kit on me every time? And just change a couple little sprues in it, and then that's good, Daryl. Like I said, it's maybe if enough people start complaining about the Walthers kits, maybe Walthers will do something about it. I don't know. But I guess it's really going to take enough people not buying them for Walthers to realize, hey, maybe we need to change our way of thinking. Like I said, I've really enjoyed doing this. This let's see, where is it? There it is. The scratch build that I'm doing. So when I get just a little bit, there's just a few more things I need to do, and then I'm going to make another video. So, and scratch building's really not that hard. If you look at it, it's not much harder than a Walthers kit, because most of the Walthers kits are flat pieces of plastic with window holes cut in them, so, or door holes. I don't know. I just don't. I guess I just don't appreciate having to, finish the kits by buying other kits. That's, yeah, hopefully. I haven't bought anything 3D printed in a while. Are the prints getting smoother? I mean, I know if you get real small detailed parts, you could actually see lines in them where things were built up in the layers. I don't know if that's still happening, because I haven't really bought anything 3D printed in probably 2 years. So are 3D printers getting better? Are things getting smoother? Or is that going to be a limitation of 3D printing? You know, because it has to be built up in layers. Hmm. But I know there's fine detail too that you'll always have to maybe do in brass or something like that because I think another um, shortcoming of 3D printed is they're brittle, and I don't think that there's any way to fix that. Like a handrail, they've got to be in HO. They've got to be 125 ten thousandths of an inch, so 0.0125 is about the size of a handrail um, in scale. So is that feasible on a 3D printer, or will they always be, will you always need brass or something like that? So Mystic, why wouldn't it be quite in scale? You think that would be easier to print in scale because you could scale it to any size you wanted. But I think in scale, if I'm not mistaken, different manufacturers have different standards for in scale. I know the track's about the same, but I don't think everybody does it exactly at 1 to 160. I think some people go as high as like almost 140 for in scale, which it might be, get it a little too big. Think about painting it. Think why I don't own a printer, yet I have to think about painting it. What do you mean, the parts after you print them? Hmm. Yeah, you always got to paint them. There's a lot of HO stuff they advertise at HO, but really it's 1/100th, and that's not exactly right. Especially the Chinese are especially bad about that. You look at those Chinese uh, people, and they're 1/100th scale. They're not 1/87 scale like they should be for HO. So they're just a little too small. Yeah, I'm sure it'll probably eventually wind up. Where they'll figure out some way, but it's you know if they can just figure out an easier CAD program. A friend of mine tried to show me how to design something in a CAD program, and I just said no, I'm not doing that because it was a nightmare what he was doing, what he was showing me. And I work on computers. I work with computers every day, and what he was showing me, it's just I'm like, forget it. I'll have somebody else do it. Yeah, because Hot Wheels are 1/64th usually. Yeah, it is, Ken. Learning CAD, it's like, whoa. I'd rather draw it with a mechanical drawing set than use a CAD program. What a nightmare. Oh, let me grab something to do. And to get a few cars here while I'm sitting here. Change out the couplers. Every time I'm out here, I just change a few sets of couplers if I can. There's some cars I have where they've glued the coupler box together, and I'm not happy about that. Then I can't change them without tearing stuff up. Yeah, I know. Engineers like to change things, software engineers. Yeah, if they had something that was more like paint, you know. Here's another rant too. I'll take my cue from Jim Tedesco and do a rant. Just don't put plastic couplers on a car. I'd rather you just sell me the car without any couplers. I mean, plastic couplers are useless junk, especially when you want to charge me $40 for a car. There's no sense in having a plastic coupler on it. especially the Atlas ones. They're just garbage. That's my rant for today, plastic couplers. I'm going to pay $40 for a car and then $4 or $5 to change the couplers out. How dumb is that? Yeah, I know. I'm out of control. It's even worse with Athearn tank cars because then you got to take the trucks off, get the couplers out, and drop the screws on the floor. Luckily, I saw where it went. And of course, when you're changing the couplers out, you always run a risk of breaking something, especially on a tank car. I should have pulled my little foam cradle out that I have. Shouldn't I have? Yeah, well, you know, those Sargent couplers were kind of doing that. The problem is the Sargent couplers were exactly scale and they worked like a knuckle coupler, but you can't use them with Katie's, so you have to change out your entire fleet. That would be that would get expensive. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool too. The little cut lever would work and everything. That's great. Yeah, if you had that little cut lever, you know, I think that would be perfect. There. Well, there's two more cars that have Katie's on them. And I always cut the little trip pins off because I don't need them and they just get in the way. And eventually, all of my cars, I'm going to put little air hoses on them one day. Yeah, I know, Corey. Those Sergeant couplers, they don't come assembled, and that's the problem. If they came assembled, I don't think I'd have much of a problem with them. I probably would have started using them. But yeah, trying to put them together, wow, that would not have been fun. Especially if if you got more than 10 cars, that would just be a nightmare. There's two. Yeah, yeah, not having metal couplers on something was just it's just not worth it. And I try to eventually I'm going to change out everything to scale head, which I've done a lot of my fleet, but probably at least half of it. What looks like cool cars, my tank car here. This is uh, this is a KCS tank car, so it's for uh, to haul diesel fuel for the railroad. If I can get there. And then I had this one here as well. Just changed out the couplers on it. There's two more down, 100 more to go. This one, not sure. It appears that the cover was glued on. So to change to a scale head coupler, I'm gonna have to just break the cover off, which I'm not ready to do tonight. This is one of those. I've got a platform that I make for it. Platform got lost somewhere one day. Good idea. Acetone first. Yeah, I don't know if it's. Looks like it might be super glue because it's clear, so it's probably with super glue. But I've got a nice platform for this, and I've got to change it out. So I have got such a mess. I cleaned up my layout, and now I've been working on my scratch build and working on these oil platforms, and I've just got my layout back in a mess again. Just a mess. So here's my next project. I talked about in one of my videos. I'm going to make this a KCS pulpwood car. So just bulkheads were here, so they're gonna go back here. I've got a lot of things to do to it first, so I'll make a video on that too one day. Yeah, get the layout all cleaned up and then start working on projects and it all becomes a mess again. So, but just as a sneak preview, here's the finished product. So that's what this was a railroad model Craftsman. See, when was it? If anybody has any back issues, this is October of 2021. So that's what I'm building. Yeah. Well, your desk, my layout's covered in that stuff. That's the problem. I've got my layout just. I cleaned it all up, and now it's just covered again. You know, one day I've got a workbench, but it's out in the garage. So I've got a room off the garage that has all my workbench in it. So, but I do a lot of work in here too. So it gets messy in here, and it's just. Yep, that's it. Clean, mess, messier. Yeah, it's kind of what mine looks like now, Corey. Yeah, Daryl, it's going to be a pretty cool project. So it's funny that KCS came out with orange ones. They had two runs of these. The first ones came out of the factory. They were painted all white, like the one at the bottom. And then the second run, they painted them orange with a white deck. Who knows why? KCS was good at saving money. They probably found a supplier that had an overload of orange paint and they bought it. Yeah, that's it, Nisi. This was all clean. I had an op session here back in July. Everything was real cleaned off and everything and nice. And then I started doing projects again, and it's just a mess. There's no way I could have an op session without a day of cleaning. Does a messy layout mean progress? Maybe. We'll see. Uh, yeah, that's what you tell yourself anyway, right? I hope while we've been talking, somebody's gotten something done. I hope everybody has gotten something done on their layout. Got these supports all glued, so I said the next step is to get them on the pipes glued to them. Well, let's see. We've been here an hour and 48 minutes. How about that? I'm probably going to wind it up here in a second. I'm glad y'all joined me. I'm glad I had some company while I was doing this. Yeah, well, that's good, Ken. See, you got something done. Sometimes you got to get the material list together. That means a lot. Mystics were Daryl's being a couch potato. Yeah, Nisi, it is. And I'm glad you got to hang out too. Just a low key hangout. It's been it. I hope you make a video of it. So, Mystic, what era are you modeling? Or are you modeling an era or just doing what you want? Some people just do what they want. Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, every little bit of I have to keep reminding myself every little thing's a little step of progress. It doesn't look like it all the time, but it is. And you have to remind yourself if you don't do it, who is? Yeah. Huh, that's good. Late transition, early diesels. Okay. Well, K and W, that's a good idea. Show us how that works. Do you have a video out of that? How you would use a toothpick to weather ties? Hmm. Yeah, Ken, that's good when you can save money. That's for sure. It's, scratch building and that kind of stuff, that saves money, believe it or not, if you plan it. Okay, good. Thanks. We'll make sure we watch that. Yeah, you have to an N scale. Toothpick, man, I'm surprised you don't have a fine wire in N scale to paint rails. That's I don't envy you N scale guys. It's just and it's just because I can't see that small. Oh, that's a good, yeah, okay. Hmm. Did I say hi to you, race fan? I don't remember. I don't remember. Hopefully, I didn't miss out. I think K and W. I missed saying hi to you. Um, and I apologize if I didn't say hello to somebody. I always hate to miss people. Hmm. Yep, saving money is always a good thing. Yeah, if you try scratch building, you can save a lot of money. I bet um, over buying a kit. Like I say, most uh, yeah, Nisi, you take care too. Enjoyed you being here. Most of Walther's kits they're just flat pieces of plastic with either brick pattern or corrugated pattern with holes cut in them for windows and doors. So somebody just drove by with a very loud stereo. If I can hear, I'm in my backyard in my train shed and I could hear it. It was shaking the walls. Crazy. That's another rant. If I liked your music, I would be playing it. Don't play it that loud. You probably don't want to hear my music, so I don't want to hear yours. Yeah, there you go, John. That's right. Oh, I have to grab my power cord real quick. My computer's saying, "Hey, plug me in." Elvis has left the building, or at least Nisi has. 5 minutes. We're at the 5-minute mark, and then I'm going to cut this off. Yeah, you're right, Corey. The stereo shouldn't give you folks an arrhythmia. No kidding. Yeah, when it shakes my train shed in my backyard. Yeah. All right, Ken, take it easy. I'll be talking to you sometime, if not in April. I'll probably wrap it up here. It's almost 2 hours. I appreciate everybody joining me. I had fun tonight, just yakking and getting some stuff done at the same time. So y'all take it easy. You have a good weekend and a good Sunday tomorrow. And yeah, me too, Ken. And I will talk to y'all next time. I just get the urge to do a live stream. So good night, everybody.